Contact free. Close. Is it free?
Look at back. Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello race fans, welcome to the V8 Supercars America Series. I am Kane Craft. JD Smith should be with us in any second. I expect to see him return just in a minute here. He's went to reboot his computer, having a little bit of computer issues. I am your host, Kane Craft. We are at round 11 of the V8 Supercars America Series. We are at Sonoma this week, getting ready to launch into the qualifying session here and see how things are going. We've got a great championship coming to a conclusion here. We are race 11 out of 12, so just the 2 rounds left. It's shaping up to be a great finish to the season. Sean Kelly and Marlon McMullen the last several weeks have went back and forth in the points. Marlon McMullen holding that #1 spot in the championship series, coming into tonight's race by 19 points. Ethan Griggolt also doing very well. He's caught up tremendously in the points the last several weeks. He's in the 3rd spot, but he's climbing up there really well. If he has a good finish tonight, there is a chance that he could end up in the top spot if things don't go well for the top 2 drivers. So Ethan is definitely a driver to keep an eye on. And of course Marlon McMullen and Sean Kelly. Sean definitely with a charge here for the championship. And Sonoma is a good track for Sean, as well as Marlon. But Phillip Island is probably a much better track for Sean Kelly than it is for Marlon McMullen. So Sean's definitely not out of the race here. He's definitely looking very good for a championship title for this round 2 or season 2 of the 2015 season. Also, of course, Marlon is as well. He's 19 points in the lead right now. With Sonoma that he's doing, seems like he's doing quite well on so far this week. He looks like he's got pretty good pace. So it's going to boil down probably to next week's Phillip Island. Still no JD, but I'm sure he'll pop right in here really quick. See if I can get this race up here for us. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage when I'm alone in the booth because I have to try to do everything as well as talk. So just bear with me as I get everything going. Give a shout out to Daniel Coxon, who's a new viewer here today. He's just stumbled across the channel. Says he's happy to be able to watch V8 Supercars without having to watch on Foxtel. That's we actually get that quite a bit. It is virtual V8 Supercars, but man, it is a lot of fun. As you'll see tonight, Daniel, these races, they're very similar to the real thing. The action is just tremendous. Just at one more second, guys. I'm trying to bring some video your way. Alright, we do have some video. Let's take a quick look here while we're waiting for JD to return. Let's take a look at how the guys are doing on their qualifying right now. Ethan Grigg Galt, #1 so far with a 111.68. That is unbelievable. What an awesome time. Marlon McMullen with a 111.69 and Sean Kelly a 111.76. So these guys still in a tremendous battle, even just for the #1 spot on the starting grid. PJ Sturgis joins us tonight. He's so far in that 4th position. Let's get this off the screen and take a look at how the guys are doing. Ethan looks like he's on a flying lap here. Car looks awful beat up. Maybe it's sometimes we do see a little glitch with the way the cars look, and if they get kind of close to the wall, it'll simulate that damage even when the contact wasn't made. That might be what we're seeing here on Ethan's car, a little bit of simulated damage when the computer thought that contact might be made, but contact ended up not being made. So as he comes across the line, it usually takes that damage away when it realizes that no contact was made.
Yeah, it's a weird glitch, buddy. How are you?
Glad to see you. Ethan Griggolt comes across the line on 112.62. He's going to continue on. He's 2 minutes, 56 minutes left in qualifying. That damage just repaired itself, so a lot like what I said, damage wasn't really there.
Yeah, that's something hopefully they'll have fixed in the near future. I know it's definitely frustrating. You think you see some kind of damage on the vehicle, and as it starts a new lap, boop, it's all better.
I want to mention, sorry to interrupt you there, JD. I thought you were
No, go ahead.
Marlon McMullen did come across the line with a 111.695. That did improve his lap, but just not quite good enough to top out Ethan Griggolt, who is at a 111.681. So just Ethan Griggolt still on that pole with just enough time. God, that is just so close. Almost like last week, we seen just 1/1000th of a second took the pole. This series is just so close. I haven't even quite went down the board here to see who all we got in the server tonight. We've got Mitchell McLeod with us. He's right now got an 8th place starting position. Tony Klusterman in the top split tonight. Tony's looks like he's got a great starting position here tonight, a 9th place starting position. Hayden Dodman's back with us tonight. Looks like he'll be starting close to that 11th position. Rory Beth, he's back with us tonight, and he's got himself a good. Kind of just depends if Mitch McLeod can get a good lap in and take that 4th spot from him, but get a lap here with 40 seconds left of the time.
Yeah, it's about down to literally 30 seconds left now in counting. And Martin Carroll, of course, he's trying to fly to improve his spot. He's currently 8th. He's going to want to do a little bit better than that. Also trying to improve Richard Elward down in the 11th position at the moment. Both these drivers would like to start a little higher up. All right, here comes some guys crossing the start-finish line. Right now, Marlon McMullen, as he just crossed, not improved. He'll remain in the outside of that front row. Not enough for a pole.
Well, that was his outlap, so he should now be on a flyer, and this should be his very final attempt. He went across with like 8 seconds remaining, so he timed that just about perfect.
Now your pole sitter, or current pole sitter, Ethan Griggolt, is sitting in pit road awaiting, so all he has to do now is sit and watch and see if anybody can jump ahead.
Marty Carroll, you were talking about him just a second ago. He's out on his final flying lap. Sean McBeth, first-time driver here in the top split of the America Series that I have seen anyway. He's going to pull off. Kevin Boalasa is Boalasa.
Kevin Boalasa just crossed. He did improve. He improved to 13th. So a nice little improvement there from the number 10 machine of Kevin Boalasa. Here comes Marlon McMullen now. Guy's going to make this left-hander here. Let's see what happens from the number 1 Grip TV Holden. And it is not enough. He is going to come across with a 111.653. That does improve his time. It's just not enough.
It was enough,
past.
Compared to the time that I just mentioned earlier. That was enough. It was a great time for Marlon, but just from the time I mentioned the times earlier, Ethan had put in 111.43 and increased his time by 0.2 seconds. That's just amazing. Ethan with a lot of pace here today.
All right, let's take a look right now at your starting grid for what will be the final live broadcast of the season. And up in the pole, it will be Ethan Griggolt in the number 1 machine, Marlon McMullen on the outside of that front row. Back in third, it's Sean Kelly with PJ Sturgios on the outside of row 2. On the third row, it'll be on that 5th position, it'll be Mitchell McLeod and Ian Ford. As we look back to the 4th row, Michael Cracknell with Martin Carroll, 2 teammates side by side. Tony Klusterman will start 9th. 10th will go to Matthew Ross Monroe. Richard Elward in the 11th slot with Hayden Dodman in 12th. Kevin Bualasa 13th. Rory Windrum 14th. 15th will go to Sean Macbeth. Jason Quire 16th. Isaac DeFigueiredo 17th. 18, Wayne Kendall. Phil Jones 19th. Paul Garrell in 20th. And the 21 and final car on our tonight's field will be Shane Brook in the number 21 machine. So, guys, keep your eyes focused. One of my favorite tracks that we visit all season long, we are at Sonoma, a.k.a. back in the day, Sears Point, Infineon, whatever you want to call it. It's been called many different things, but a great track, a great racetrack indeed. And getting ready to start live, V8 Supercar America's action right now, guys. Waiting for those lights. Yeah, there's a few front runners not gridded. There's Marlon. He just popped on. We're looking for PJ Sturgios. There he is. And finally, what would be Martin Carroll as he waits to grid. There he is. So the grid is set. Now let's get ready. We're revved up and ready to roll. Let's roll. And here they are off to a clean start, let's hope. Extremely tight side-by-side action up near the front already, and Marlon McMullen does jump out to an early lead, having a little bit of connection issues. Behind him, it's Ethan Grigalt, followed by PJ Sturgios and Sean Kelly. Mitch McLeod slides in there in the torque holding behind them. It is a tight front four right now, very, very close. Side-by-side action, two sim pit drivers. Right now, Mike Cracknell comes around Marty Carroll, very close. Both of them behind the Maverick welding machine of Ian Ford, very, very close racing off the start. This is one of the most dangerous first turns in all of racing. Trouble for PJ Sturgios. He does regain control. That could have been really detrimental to his day. A great save. He comes out right in front of Sean Kelly, and they are bumper to bumper. Boy, what a way to start the race, Kane. Not even done with the first lap and already just loads of action. But a very, very good start from Marlon McMullen in the number one Grip TV machine. He does lead the field down into the final turn here to start lap number one. It is in the books, and he leads the way. You still there, buddy?
Yeah, I was having a little trouble with the live timing, getting live timing up so I could get some time showing, but I did get it back, so now I'm back with you.
Good deal. The front two are on their own little run out there, and Marlon McMullen with about a 5-car length lead over. Well, that will be shortened as Ethan Grigalt comes in really hot and heavy, and he'll have to lose some time on exit. Behind him, PJ Sturgios. What a job from him, Cade. In a really good spot. He is currently in third, and after a slippy, slidey start, he is looking really good after a nice rebound. Big, big run for him right now.
Yeah, glad to see PJ Sturgis come back for round 11. He's one of the pro drivers that we get to see several times throughout the season as he joins us, and he really does well for as little time as he has in the car. He's very impressive.
Very impressive. Ooh, nice back at the field side-by-side action as Shane Brook is get passed by Paul Garrell. And those two, even in the back of the pack, were battling their little hearts out.
Yeah, Sonoma's a great track. Really lends itself to some good close racing. I'm surprised that these cars have gapped out as much as they really have. Everybody's kind of got a single file and a couple car links between most of the cars. The closest battle looks like it might be here between the two sim pit cars of Marty Carroll and Mick Cracknell.
Now, how many laps are we running tonight in tonight's race, Kane? I did not get a chance to
25 laps.
look. So good, 25 laps, and as you guys can see, a lap is just a little over a minute, about a minute 12 on average. So this race shouldn't be a real long one, really a sprint run tonight. And at the pace these guys are going, especially a single file, this bad boy's moving along nice. Take your eyes and put it on the Grip TV Holden right now. Marlon McMullen, he is on a mission, Kane. He is out in front, and he is just laser focused. He has not budged from that ideal racing line. And just watching him put down consistent times. Last lap, 111.55 for Marlon McMullen. And he's going to be a tough guy to catch. Ethan Griggault is within striking distance for, relativity. But as far as a passing opportunity, not going to happen anytime soon without a mistake.
That's an amazing time. That even topped his qualifying time, that 111.55 on a race trim. Spectacular. Not quite as good as Ethan's qualifying time, but still a good time, especially for race trim.
Well, the guys are here on lap number 4. They've already got out off of cold tires. Now got some heat in those tires. Hopefully the grip level of the cars are a little bit up compared to where they were the first lap or two. So guys starting to settle in, getting a feel for the race. But unfortunately for the 25-lap race here, you got to get moving quick if you're going to move up through some positions now. Sean Kelly may be starting to reel in a little bit closer to PJ Sturgio's. 111.9 last lap for PJ, 111.7, so 2/10 faster for the TTR Holden of Sean Kelly as he starts to reel in ever so closely to third place and what would eventually be the final spot on the podium. Also, another good battle starting to develop is Ian Ford. He's getting some company behind him as Michael Cracknell starts to run him down, and that is a classic battle on him between the Maverick Weldon Holden and the Simpit Holden. Going at it. Lovely battle right here between these guys.
Yeah, Mick Cracknell doing all he can to keep up with Ian Ford, and he's doing a fantastic job. We're going to see this battle just intensify as this race goes on. Ian Ford, another driver that with us again tonight that we've kind of missed for the last couple weeks. Every time Ian joins us here in the series, he brings just a little something else, a little something extra, just some more intensity. Another car to watch have some great races on the track, and I kind of miss Ian when he's not here, because anytime he's here, you can almost be guaranteed to have a couple of great races on the track.
Kane, I'll tell you, a driver I've been very, very impressed with. And it is the race against CP Holden, the number 16 car of Tony Kloosterman. He started 9th. That's currently where he rides, but he's done very well keeping up with race pace, and just very impressed with him. You know, he is not a permanent fixture in the top split. He's kind of right on the cusp there with the I rating. So just depending on how the fields line up, sometimes it gets down in that second split, but doing really, really well up here in the top split right now. And he looks very focused. I'm just enjoying watching Tony as he tries to catch up to an old friend in Marty Carroll. Both of those guys, no strangers to each other, used to race in Grossim together and a little private league. And I tell you what, it's good seeing those two right there together. I'd like to see them get a little closer.
Yeah, glad to see Tony having a great race so far here today. And that is fantastic, seeing Tony up in the top 10. Seeing that Never Quit race, and Holden having a great race here today.
We do have a battle for 18th and 17th right here, and I know that's way back in the field, but it is a little exciting. Paul Gurrell trying to get around Phil Jones, and Phil Jones was close to Wayne Kendall, but Wayne Kendall really good exit out of the hairpin turn, and that put a little bit of daylight in between the two cars, as the Oricon Steel Falcon gets a little bit of breathing room. And so some of the good battles are even in the back of the field as Phil Jones continues to try to hold off Paul Gurrell.
And it's a good point that these vehicles in the back of the field, all these drivers are split within their own divisions, and there's 10 different divisions in the series, and these drivers in the back, they are still competing in their own divisions for a division title. And So these guys, even though they're racing what seems like in the back of these 18th, 19th, 20th positions, these are the top guys in the 6th, 7th division, and they're having a great battle.
Yeah, it really is exciting. I mean, yeah, every position on the track has so much meaning to it. And, oh, that really hurt Paul Garrell there. Really went in really strong there and had to take the hairpin very wide. That cost him a little bit of time. So that's enough for that battle for now. But still, like you mentioned, a lot there on the line. Two Simpit guys starting to go at it now. That's Isaac de Figueiredo and Jason Quire. Now that is the battle for 14th. Smoke in the air and trouble is abound. It is a car back into the wall, and I don't know who that is. It is
Sean McBeth.
Sean McBeth. Sorry, buddy. I was looking up. That is not good there. That's Sean McBeth. Kane was just saying in the bottle, Falcon, and a tough break there for him. He was running 13th.
Bring up the replay here. Take a look and see just exactly what happened to Sean. Looked like the car ahead of him heavy on the brakes for some reason. A little bit of contact there as Sean come up next to him, and a little bit of contact sends Sean around and into the gravel trap. He spins it back around, gets on track. A lot of positions lost there for Sean, and he was having a great race.
Ian Ford has lost a position, Kane, to the torque machine of Mitchell McLeod. And Mitch McLeod, or no, he didn't. I apologize. I thought Mitchell McLeod was behind Ian Ford, but it was the other way around.
He has reeled in Mitch a little bit there. Oh,
trouble! And that is so bad right there for Ian Ford, who gets spun around. Now, I'm going to go back and take a replay at that, or myself, and review what just happened. I think that is just a prime example of what can happen when you hit the curbs wrong. Literally, the back end just stepped out on him, and I don't think there's too much damage to the car. The damage is done with the track position, because he did get the thing back going again. But unfortunately for Ian Ford, he came out right behind Richard Aylward and was able to just squeeze in front of Kevin Bualasa for just a moment. Ended up falling behind him as well, because he went wide on the turn after that as the tires were full of debris. So a tough run right there for Ian Ford, who had a great run going. But Kane, we got a nice crowd of cars right now in the mid-pack with Isaac de Figueiredo as he tries to run down Matthew Ross Monroe. And these four cars all piled in together. That's Matthew Ross Monroe 13th, 14th Isaac de Figueiredo, followed by Rory Windrum 15th, and Wayne Kendall in 16th. Also, welcome to the party Phil Jones as he's starting to come up, and then Paul Garrell. So all these cars are starting to get tightly knit within, and that's going to be fun to watch, even though it is near the mid to back pack. Lots of action going on back here.
Tell you what, Matthew Ross Monroe is definitely worthy of some praise. He is a driver that's really been a lot improved this season. We've seen him throughout most of this season, and each week he just seems to be getting a little better each week.
Continues to improve, and when you get in situations like he's in right now, where there's loads of pressure on you, you have all the things that can go wrong, and you keep your cool and you make things happen. That's how you just increase your experience, and he's going to continue to get better and better with time. That's what seat time does in race situations like that. Really good job. Watching Kevin Bualasa right now, he's got his hands full with Ian Ford. Remember, Ian just fell back just a few moments ago and already has caught back up to Kevin Bualasa. He's going to go to the inside right now. Let's see if Kevin fights to stay there. Oh, he does. He gets it back for the moment. Good job from the SP Tools holding momentarily. They're going to go side by side through the turn, inside to the Maverick welding machine of Ian Ford, and Ian will jump back into the top 10. Oh, good move from Ian Ford right there to maintain. Most people probably would have backed out of that, but he decided there was no danger, and he did a really, really good job of keeping all four tires grounded, no spinnings, not too close to make any unnecessary contact. Beautiful pass, and puts him back up into 10th place.
Bad news for Paul Gurriel, who finds himself in the pits with significant damage to the front end. See if I can catch a replay and see what happened to Paul.
Hate to hear that for him. He was starting to catch up to that field of cars, and unfortunately for him.
Man, tough break as Wayne Kendall got a little sideways right in front of him. Serious contact for Paul Gurriel right into the T-boned him really hard. So that's gonna do it for Paul Gurriel's race. That's put him back into 19th position so far, but it's going to take a long time to get that car repaired.
Oh, man, speaking of repairs, somebody's going to have to repair some feelings here shortly. Sean Kelly's starting to tear away at that gap that PJ Sturgis had worked hard on. And right now the TTR machine is wheeling in. He has got within a car length now of PJ Sturgis. This could be really fun. These two excellent drivers. And right now watching them, and there's just enough space where Sean has to where he can't get any type of draft off of PJ, but if he can get just a little bit closer, you'll see that gap just shut down into nothing. He's almost there. He is right on the verge.
Speaking of gaps, the gap has increased between the first place car of Marlon McMullen back to the Simpit vehicle of Ethan Griggold. 1.4 seconds now separates the two. It had been right about a second, so Marlon really starting to pull away from Ethan Griggold here so far.
Two Simpit drivers continue to go at it. Marty Carroll tries to run down Crackers, and be fun to see if he does catch him. Battle is for 6th place. And those two teammates are just having a ball right now. They're not worried about the positions too much. They're just out there having a good time. Tony Klusterman remains in 8th place. Look back into 9th. It's Richard Elward. And Richard's back there kind of by himself in the Mad Cow Holden. Behind him, it's Ian Ford in the Maverick Weldon Holden, and he is trying to regain some of that lost ground from the spin out he had just a few laps ago. He is almost caught up to Richard Aylward. About another lap's time and a half, he'll catch him. Kevin Bualasa in 11th. 12th is Jason Quire. He's got his hands full with Matthew Ross Monroe right now, and Matthew must have fallen back a position or something because he was riding a little bit better a minute ago. Now the SDRT Falcon is trying to catch up and get around one of these Simpit cars. That is Jason Quire. He's going to be right there. He's on the bumper. Going to try to make a move now to pop up into 12th place. Can't find any room. It's a classic Ford Holden battle right now. And right now it's the Simpit Holden that has the cards. And he is doing a good job of keeping Matthew Ross Monroe behind him. All right, guys, Ian Ford has pretty much caught Richard Elward now, so this is going to be one to watch here in just a moment as Richard Elward gets up, Richard Elward has to get into defense mode, and that's when you start really seeing how drivers' days are going, when they have to get look in that rearview mirror and they start focusing on that mirror more than the road ahead of him, and that can be troublesome because here he is right on the bumper, guys, and I think you're going to see Ian Ford get around him very quickly, and that's not a down call to the Mad Cow machine. That's just, there it is right there, beautiful driving from Ian Ford. His car is extremely fast.
Yeah, it can be troublesome no matter where you are or what car you're in. If you look in that mirror and you see a Maverick Holden in the rearview mirror, that's troublesome in and of itself.
It's a very true statement, buddy. Well, guys, we're on lap number 15 of 25. Still.
JD, sorry to interrupt you, but Torque Holden of Mitchell McLeod now just exited the track. Some serious damage. Let's do a race recall replay. Take a look and see what happened to Mitch.
Bad news.
Got to go back a little bit further. Definitely some serious impact.
That was Self. He got loose on the curb, Kane. Same thing that happened to Ian Ford a minute ago. He got loose on the curb, didn't ease off the gas. The wheel spun the car around straight into the wall.
Yeah, it was just over the hill to start coming down the hill, and that track is so slick right there. And yeah, like I say, just lost traction and lost control of the car. Pretty significant impact with the outside wall.
That's only about 50 yards away from where Ian Ford's incident was, too. Very, very concerning, difficult part of the track for the cars this time around. I don't remember that being a problem area any other time we've been here to Sonoma, but just in today's race, 2 incidents off that curb that I just saw Matthew Ross Monroe cross with no problem. It's crazy when you watch cars go over that curb 100 times, but then the one time that these guys go over it, Mitchell McLeod hits it, boom, into the wall. Ian Ford, boom, into the wall. And these are great drivers. It's just crazy how the things can happen like that.
The drivers have been complaining all week that Sonoma just seems extra slippery this week. So they're really fighting for traction out here tonight, and it really shows. Ian Ford still having trouble getting around Richard Elward. Do want to mention Ethan Griggolt has brought that time back down, now below the 1 second mark. So with 9 laps to go, Ethan is going to start putting some pressure on the race leader, Marlon McMullen.
Marty Carroll makes his way around Crackers, and how about this, Kane? Marty has lost his lid. Seriously, he lost his hood.
It's still on there for me.
Okay, well, I'm showing massive damage to Marty Carroll's Ford Falcon, and it's missing, or in Australia they'd say a bonnet, but it's missing the hood, it's missing the right quarter panel, and the splitter is just crunched up like a crushed Pepsi can.
He must have come awful close to some contact. The computer thought that some contact was made there, and
he's missing his boot too. It's all gone.
It should reset here any second.
No reset, man. The start of the new lap, and his car, it looks just like it's been in a huge
crash up derby, huh?
Yeah, I need to take a screenshot of that.
PJ Sturgis still having a fantastic race here today, considering this is probably only his 3rd or 4th race this season to come in here and race with these guys like he does. Fantastic. You know, if he could spend more time in this series, he could definitely be driving for a V8Supercars America's Championship.
Oh, really? He really could. Kane, look at Ethan Griggolt. He has got well within worrisome distance for Marlon McMullen, especially with lap traffic up in the distance. This is within a car length and a half now, and I tell you what, they get up here, this lap traffic, lap traffic is no longer a problem, and that was a really good job there from Shane McBeth to let the leaders by. But this is very concerning if you're a Marlon McMullen fan, as right now Ethan Griggolt is on the prowl, and he has reeled Marlon in quite a bit.
So these guys raced together in the V8 Supercars Masters Series, and which raced last night, I believe, and these guys had such a good close race there. Marlon told me to expect a great race between these two tonight, and it's looking like it's really going to pan out that way. Of course, we have seen great races between these two, Sean Kelly and several other drivers all season long. That Ethan has just been up here racing with these guys at the top of this championship series, like he had been racing with them for years and years. It's really, I love this series because these top guys can get up here and race, and even all through the field. It's not just the top guys. You can go back into the 16th, 17th position and watch these guys racing bumper to bumper, and I just love it. Rory Wyndham, our points guy for the series, he's in 13th. He's in car number 14 tonight. He's running 13th, just behind Jason Quire, trying to track down Jason for that 12th position. He's got it within half a second of Jason. We could see Rory make a move here on Jason for that 12th spot. Michael Cracknell and Marty Carroll still going at it for that 5th place. Crackers is not letting Marty get out of his sight, staying right on the bumper there. So great race between the two sim pit guys. You still with me, JD? Mick Cracknell with a great run through the hairpin. That's going to put him right there on the bumper of Marty Carroll. Thought he was going to be able to try to make a move, but he's not going to be quite in a position to do so. Sean Kelly still behind PJ Sturgis, stuck in that 4th position, but having a great race there with PJ Sturgis. Check back in on the leader, Marlon McMullen, now about 0.6 seconds ahead of Ethan Griggold. Ethan has effectively caught Marlon and will be putting on the pressure here with 5 laps to go. We've got a race for the lead.
What a run. What a run, man. Really watching up here in the front. Marlon McMullen's done a wonderful job of holding off Ethan Griggold, Kane. Very impressed with Marlon McMullen right now. He is in the run for a championship right now up against Sean Kelly. And this really helps him out a lot up here in the lead. And Sean Kelly being able to hold off, being back and forth. That really is a big battle when you look at the point standings with him and PJ Sturgis. Every position counts. And right now, PJ Sturgis not allowing Sean Kelly by. That helps Marlon McMullen out quite a bit. And you got to keep in mind, next week, we're going to be, or, you know, the season finale is at Phillip Island. Not a Marlon McMullen track. So very, very, very concerning here. This is what Marlon needed.
Yeah, it is. But it's still not over for Sean Kelly, as they're position at Phillip Island, and so Sean Kelly still will have a chance to win this championship next week at Phillip Island, because if he can pull out a win, Marlon really struggles there at Phillip Island. He might see a finish that then gets him well below that 4th position.
Well, I was about to say, if I had to pick what was going to happen, I would have to say I would pick Sean Kelly ends up winning Phillip Island, or puts himself in a position where he gets a higher finish versus where Marlon finishes next week, because Marlon really does struggle at Phillip Island. Now, unless Marlon has done some serious work at Phillip Island, like I talked about a few weeks ago, Kane, in preparations, he's known all season what the finale was going to be. He knew it was going to be close going in, so maybe he's really done some work there. Be very interesting to see how well he does next week. And that is something else, I'm telling you. Right now, guys, we are getting ready. Lap 24 is among us here in just a moment. In fact, our leaders have started up on lap number 24. So,
tell you what, JD, the battle between Marty Carroll and Mick Cracknell is just so good. Mick Cracknell has got ahead of Marty. Marty now to the inside. He thinks a little better of it, holds it back, but he's going to have a good run coming out of the hairpin.
Oh, man, while they're getting aggressive, we're starting to get aggressive up here, battle for the lead. Ethan Griggold starting to really push as the white flag will be out this time by. And that Sim Pit Holden is right there with the Grip TV Holden. They are bumper to bumper for the first time today since the start of this race. And Ethan Grigall is right there praying with both fingers crossed that he will see some type of slip up from Marlon McMullen, as this is going to go down to the wire and to the final lap. Here they are coming into the hairpin as they get ready to head down towards the start-finish line for the final lap today. This is what it's all going to come down to, guys. Good run through the hairpin by both drivers. Ethan Grigall right there in striking distance. Will he try to go to the inside? He does, but there's not enough room. He has not close enough to make a move. The final lap is upon us. The white flag waving in the air, and our battle for the win is on its way. Right now, Marlon McMullen leads the way as Ethan Grigall attacks with everything he has. They are pushing on some burnt tires. Big turn here. Remember, we've seen two great drivers spin out coming off those curbs. And, ooh, the sim pit machine was bouncing around really good. Great entrance right there from Ethan Grigall. A little bit of back wheel spin there on exit. Didn't cost him too much. Put enough in there. But I tell you what, Ethan Grigall's got to do something. If there's going to be a pass, it's going to happen in the hairpin, Kane, which will be ultra exciting on the final turn of the race. And they're getting ready to head down into that area. Here they go, guns a-blazing, full speed ahead. Ethan Grigall gets tons of dust as he went a little wide on exit. They're going to go down into the hairpin. I don't think Ethan Grigall's got enough. It looks like it's all Marlon McMullen. And on the final turn of the race, it's going to be the Grip TV Holden taking this one, guys. Marlon McMullen takes Sonoma. Big win from Marlon McMullen there to come out and edge it over second place driver Ethan Grigall. The final step on the podium will belong to PJ Sturgios in the number 2 machine. Fantastic run from PJ Sturgios in his number 2 Holden. Behind him, it is the TTR machine of Sean Kelly, and he takes 4th. Rounding out that top 5 position, it is Michael Cracknell, and a great job from him as him and Marty Carroll battle. Whoa, I take it back. I'll look at the results again. Marty Carroll takes 5th place. I apologize, Marty. And Mike Cracknell will come across in 6th there. Those two really went at it. I'm going to have to rewind my screen just to see how those finished, because I was so intrigued with the leaders. And what a run. They were about to be side by side at the end. Marty hits the brakes to make it even closer. And great run there from both drivers. And they'll finish 5th and 6th. 7th went to Tony Kloosterman. What a job from Tony Kloosterman. Started 9th, finished 7th in the Racing Against CP Holden. A beautiful paint on our livery on that car. Behind him, it is Richard Elward finishing 8th. 9th was Ian Ford. Remember his misfortune early in the race. Kevin Bualasa rounds out the top 10. What a race came from some of these guys, especially from here, mid to back pack. A wonderful race. The SDRT Ford Falcon of Matthew Ross Monroe takes 11th. 12th goes to Rory Windrum. Back there behind him in 13th, Jason Quire. Phil Jones, 14th. Sean Macbeth, 15th. And what a run from him in the Bottle Oak Falcon. Remember, he spun around early in the race, had trouble, thought his day was going to be really shortened, and he hung in there for a big finish. Wayne Kendall finishes 16th, 1 lap down. Shane Brooks, the same for him, finishing in 17th. Mitch McLeod did not finish today, a DNF, as he takes 18th. Isaac DeFigueiredo, another DNF, 19th. Same for Paul Carell and Hayden Dodman. That rounds out the 21-car field, and that is how we'll finish up here at Sonoma. What a race. What do you think about that one, Kane?
What another fantastic race and a fantastic season. This season 2 has been phenomenal. If you're new to the season, like Daniel, who I mentioned earlier at the start of the broadcast, someone who just stumbled across the show, I urge you to go back and check out this season 2. It has been phenomenal. Every race has just been more and more exciting. This most certainly wasn't the most exciting race of the season, but still had a lot of action. And this season will probably go down. As far as I can remember, it's been the best season so far.
definitely been memorable from the get-go, and I just really looking forward to the finale next week. Now I know that we won't be able to broadcast that race live. However, we do plan on doing some type of season review or season wrap-up show, maybe even.
I think we're gonna try maybe a radio broadcast or something. I'm like I say, I'm gonna take the tablet, so I think we'll be able to do maybe a radio broadcast of it or something, audio only or something, so that we can. I don't know. I'm thinking about hooking up my PC to like a remote desktop program, and controlling my home computer from the hotel room, and seeing if we can do something that way, because it's the final race of the season, and this has been such an epic season that I'd hate to end the season without a show.
I wish that I could host it, but Kane is the magic man that does all the beauty behind the curtain. So I wish there was a way I could do that myself, buddy. But as you know, I am computer illiterate at times. So, but anyways, yeah, man, we'll figure that out. You guys stay tuned for more info regarding that. Now it's time to get ready for some driver interviews, and really excited to talk to some of these guys, see what they have to say about their runs today. Let's go ahead and bring in the race winner, Marlon McMullen. A big day for him. Marlon, welcome to the post-race show. How are you, bud?
Yeah, not too bad, guys. How about yourselves?
Man, doing good, pal. Tell me a little bit about the run at Sonoma. Really, really good run. Started from second, got out to an early lead, man. Big start, huh?
Yeah, I knew that if I qualified second, it's sort of not nothing to stress about, because you actually start on the inside. So I was hoping that I could pull it off and get a good launch, and I got it. I got it today, and yeah, fortunately for Ethan, he just had to tuck in behind me, and yeah, from there on, I just sort of kept my head down, and I tried to push out a gap on Ethan. I knew Ethan was going to be mightily fast because we had a race last night, so and we were pretty much doing qualifying laps in the race, so. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a tough race today, so yeah, put the head down and focused away, and made a couple of mistakes here. He made a couple of mistakes there, and then the gap was pretty much no more than 2 seconds all the way. So, man, I'm absolutely sweating, and I can't believe that was just an awesome race. That was really good.
Oh, it really was very entertaining. Going back to that, not stressing out about second place, starting on the inside line, a huge advantage. And you wonder, because in NASCAR, the pole sitter gets to choose whether they want to start on the inside or the outside. And wonder we should have something like that here, or at least make it to where the pole sitter gets to start on the inside of turn one. And I know for you it worked out great, but I mean in future, if you were to win the pole for this and then started on the outside, it would have made it very difficult for you to jump down there to get that. So I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, last night I did a few practice starts, so I knew the track was going to be pretty slippery on the get-go. So, I took that into account, and I actually started on pole last night. So, it can be done. You can start from pole and you can still lead from pole, but it's just a lot harder because you've got that car on the inside of you, and he sort of can't see you because you're on the outside, and sort of like a big left-hander sweeping corner. So you're sort of both praying to each other that you're not going to hit each other, and it's a really awkward start. It's just one of those sort of funny sort of corners, and you're trying to get up the hill and trying to make a corner while you're shifting up gears, and it's so slippery, man. That's why I see so many incidents there at Sonoma. So, but anyway, we go on to Phillip Island next week.
Now, we know Phillip Island is a tough track. In the past, it's been a very difficult place for you to race. How have you prepared for this race? And it's a season finale, man.
Oh, I haven't jumped the gun that yet. I mean, I'm not that excited over Phillip Island, you know me. Haven't done any laps yet, but I'll go out there, and all I can do is just hope for the best. Last season I did really well there. I think I cracked the top 7 or something, which isn't like the most amazing thing for me, but to get around there in the top 10 at Phillip Island's a big achievement for me. So I'll just go out there and do what I can. Obviously, I know I got a little bit of a points lead. I just got to work it out now, and just try and maintain it. Obviously, if Sean finishes about 4 or 5 positions in front of me, I dare say that he's clinched it. But it's going to be an awesome final round to compete. It's going to be a nightmare for me, but probably awesome for him.
It is going to be exciting. We're going to have to try to calculate who's going to finish where to get the championship, because it's so hard to figure out on the fly. You know, in normal race scenarios, you have certain amount of allotted points per position, but with iRacing, with strength of fields and things like that, it really changes it up. So going to be very interesting to see how that is. Boy, it's going to be stressful.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, Sean and myself have pretty much worked out that one position sort of pays about, 12 to 19 points. It just depends on the soft, you know what I mean? And last week, for example, at Virginia, when we didn't have a very good turnout, I think we only had like 20 cars or something. The points were staggered by like 20 something points each position. So it was pretty significant, So some days it depends on the soft, some days it depends on number, of the participants. So hopefully it doesn't come down to anything like that, but it's sort of what you get. But it's 1 point, most of the championship, me and Sean were battling. So the softs have worked well, in my opinion, even though the numbers are so different and variant.
Absolutely, man. Well, I tell you what, Marlon, congratulations on the victory, buddy. Amazing run, and we wish you the best of luck at Phillip Island next week.
Cheers, thank you so much for this, guys.
Absolutely, buddy. That is Marlon McMullen, everybody. Big win from him today. Let's talk to the guy that finished right behind him, Ethan Grigg-Galt. Let's bring him in. Ethan, welcome to the post-race show. How are you today?
I'm doing good, thanks. You?
Man, doing wonderful. Went and took the pole out there. It was a great run, really close there to Marlon. And you tell me about the start there with you guys side by side and going down into turn one.
I was a tad iffy on starting on pole because you're on the outside for, say, the first two corners, and I guess their thought process was the top of the hill would be the most important side to be on, but I couldn't get it together on the start. My practice starts in the pit lane were horrendous, just wheel spin all the time, couldn't get it to grip up, and that just translated in the start as well, and Marlon just flew past me.
It was an awesome run there from both of you guys. And really, you had fallen a little bit behind Marlon at the beginning of the race, worked yourself back up, and then had a really good run at him near the end. Walk me through kind of the final 2 laps there with you trying to catch.
I was just trying to keep the car as straight as possible to try and have an attack on the last few laps. I was getting pretty close. I know I could have outbraked him into a couple of corners there, but yeah, I just ended up pushing far too hard, cooking the tires a bit too much, and yeah, I just started running wide on places on the last lap, which kind of stopped me from having a go.
Yeah, I saw you go a little bit wide there, coming as you're getting ready to come down towards the hairpin. Got over into a little bit of the dirt, and it kind of cost you where you couldn't go side by side with him into the hairpin. But a great race. I thought it was a really good performance from you. Sonoma is a very difficult track. A lot can go wrong in a hurry. We saw several incidents tonight with 2 really good drivers getting caught up just at hitting a curb, getting a little bit of rear wheel spin. The next thing you know, they were nose deep into the wall, and it was just very unfortunate. So great result today, Ethan, and we wish you the best next week at Phillip Island, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely, brother. That is Ethan Grigg-Galt, everybody. Fantastic performance for him. Second spot on the podium is well deserved. Let's bring in that final driver, final spot on the podium today. Well, he's not in here, so I can't bring him in. Let's go to the guy that finished right behind him, and actually the guy that's going to battle in the final week for this championship. Let's bring in Sean Kelly. Sean, welcome to the post-race show.
Hey guys, how are we?
Man, doing wonderful, Sean. It's always a pleasure. Tell me a little bit about Sonoma and your thoughts on the race, how the car felt early. Was it as slippery as everybody says it was? Kind of walk me through the early parts of your race.
Yeah, I don't know if it was too slippery. The car was okay. I just didn't qualify well enough. I had the numbers to put it on the front row for sure. And yeah, the banker lap was okay, better than the rest. And then, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get the job done, and the other guys done a better job, essentially. Forget to turn your voice down and someone pipes up over the channel and mid corner. So yeah, it's just those little things you got to remember to do. Yeah, so that put me off. Didn't get a great start, and PJ got in front of me, and yeah, PJ just done an awesome job. Just didn't make too many mistakes, and I had pretty good pace. But as soon as I got close, I'd just make a small mistake and fall back a few tenths, and yeah, that was race done pretty much. Couldn't get the car through the fast right-hander, but no, enjoy racing. Always enjoy racing there, so it's a pretty good race, and yeah, awesome pace by Marlon and Ethan.
Oh man, fantastic! Now, going into the final week, I don't know what the exact points are or what they'll be. I'm assuming Marlon has a slight points lead over you going into this final run. Now, what makes this interesting? Obviously, you're very, very good at Phillip Island, and Marlon has kind of been one of his tough tracks that he's struggled at in the past, and it's going to come down to the wire. What is kind of going through your plans for next week as you try to get this title?
Yeah, well, I've always just turned up to do some races this season, really, and last round, I just didn't do a good enough job, especially in qualifying. So, yeah, that's created like a 50-odd point gap. So it's going to be pretty hard to overcome in the final, isn't it? But I guess all we can do is try and, like I said, it's a pretty good track for me. So I'll go and try and win, I guess, and then I just got to hope Marlon finishes probably, I don't know, 6th or 7th probably. So, yeah, and on his current form, that's not pretty unlikely. So, it's all in all, doesn't pan out. It's been an awesome season and enjoying it. So, yeah.
Boy, it really has been a one-of-a-kind season. And I can't remember going into a final race where I felt like it was just this close. And I don't know if that's just because of the way that the season has laid out for us, with us finishing at Phillip Island. We know that's a good track for you and a tough track for Marlon, yet Marlon is in the lead by a small margin. And it just makes it so interesting and so exciting. Very, very, very excited, man. I wish you both the best of luck, and we really look forward to that next week, buddy.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Like I said, there's more points in it than I would have liked going into the final race. But yeah, if I'd finished position higher in last race and this race, yeah, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. But yeah, not feeling too comfortable in last race. But it'll be good. It'll be fun.
That's it, man. It's going to be a blast. Go practice and get your best times ready for Phillip Island, buddy.
Yeah, I better get on top of it this time.
All right, man. Well, as always, a pleasure talking to you. Wish you the best of luck, like I said, and we'll talk at you later next week.
Cheers, guys.
Absolutely. That is Sean Kelly, everybody, driver of the TTR machine. Good day for him today. Finished 4th, just off the podium. Very good performance. All right, let's have a word with the guy that rounded out our top 5.
This is funny.
Marty, welcome to the post-race show. How are you, buddy?
I'm fantastic, and you?
Man, doing well. Drag in, and you're just already talking. He's just that excited to come and have a word with us on the show.
Yeah, I was just having a little debrief there with our good friend Tony Clousman, who had an outstanding race tonight.
Oh, boy, he really looked good tonight, and it was fun watching him. It was fun watching you two, you and Michael Cracknell going at it, and that was quite, what's the word I'm looking for? It was exciting, man. Yeah, it was fun. Tell me a little bit about your race. I mean, we obviously watched a good part of your race, but tell me a little bit about how the car felt, how you felt, and what it was like when you're racing that hard with a teammate.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, my cheeks are sore from giggling so much. Like, we're having such a good time out there, and neither of us give an inch. We're both competitive with each other, and that's what it's all about. Like, the fact that we've got the same skin on doesn't mean we're not going to go out there and race hard and full position. Unfortunately, both of us were a little bit off our qualifying pace during qualifying, so we did start probably a row back from where we expected. But it's must be 10, 12, 13 races in a row that we've qualified right next to each other in all disciplines. So we're quite used to racing each other, and we make sure we have a good time while we're doing it.
Well, since you were talking about him, I'm going to bring him in too so we can kind of get a joint broadcast here. Michael, welcome to the Post Race Show. I'm chatting with your teammate Marty, and the reason I brought you in now instead of later is we're talking about the awesome race back and forth with you and Marty, and just how close you guys have qualified. The whole year, you really both have been neck and neck as far as your performances. But tell me what it was like racing your teammate like that.
Hey JD, Kane. Nah, that was great fun. Like, I don't think we had the pace at all with the sort of top four, and even trying to keep with Mitch and Ian, we were sort of thereabouts. But they kind of had their own moments, and from there on, it was just me and Marty just within half a second of each other, just battling, driving as hard as we could, and yeah, it was awesome fun, really good.
Oh, it was so fun to watch Marty. Like I said, Marty was just talking about how you guys have been going at it, and it was fun, and just really glad to see that. And what's awesome is that shows that you and him, both of y'all's driving, is about on the same level right now, and that is the best thing ever because that brings both of you to push each other harder. Is that kind of the case?
Oh, definitely. We were driving at 10 tenths that whole entire time. It's just so much fun when you've got teammates around you, and we push each other to the limit because we want to be there. We're always we want to get on. We want to practice together. We want to make each other better. And we all get as much enjoyment out of seeing our teammate doing well, like Ethan's tremendous performance today. Unfortunately, it was won and lost on the grid. But we get just as much enjoyment seeing celebrating his second place there today as much fun as our 25 lap battle was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, that was one of the more enjoyable runs I've had this year. Like, it's good to be able to race around people that are going to give you room, but at the same time, you're going to give them room too. So, there's a lot of respect out there, which is always a good thing.
Oh, it's a great thing. And when you have that, that's what makes the races this good. If you had everybody out there that wouldn't give an inch, and that just turns into a wreck fest, and nobody wants to watch that. We wouldn't even.
Turns into oval racing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's not like we're giving an inch. It's the fact that you can trust the guy on the inside is going to be able to modulate that brake pedal,
Right.
Coming in both braking deep and having those trusts in those guys. Like you see those top tier guys like Sean and Marlon and Nathan, like they're the same when they're battling each other. And then you got myself and Crackers and Fulcher. Like we pride ourselves on being able to race at that level. With that high skill set and racecraft, and and that's why it is so much fun because you are pushing at 10 tenths, yet you still have that trust on the guys inside, and that's with guys like Corey Preston. That's why I spend a lot of time with him to get him to that level. They got the natural talent, and a lot of the guys that are just behind us. That's what we try and teach them, and when we're in practice sessions and you want to race with each other, it's when they get to that level, that's the type of discipline they need to have, to earn the respect up front.
Man, that's fantastic. Well, thank you both for, like I said, coming and having a quick word with us. Hang tight. As always, got more to talk about very soon. I want to bring in a few more drivers first. Let's bring in Tony Klosterman, guys. A wonderful run. Very, very impressive run from Tony. Tony, welcome to the Post Race Show. How are you, bud?
Excellent, JD. How are you?
Man, doing great, pal. Very, very impressed with the run from you today, man. Watched you start night, great, which I thought was a great qualifying time. And then once you got in the race, stayed focused. Very, very smooth looking car today. It looked like the car felt good. It may have been a handful, but it looked good from our point, from where we were watching. And just very impressed, man. Tell me a little bit about how the car felt, what you were doing in your run today, man.
Well, thanks for the comments there, JD. Yeah, the car felt really good. In fact, it didn't feel out of control for a change. And I was telling the guys earlier that I wasn't sure if the car was coming to me or I was coming to the car, but I think that's the latter is what it is. I'm starting to get used to it. And to be honest, I learned a lot following that front group of 8. So they're very, very smooth and they roll on the power. And they taught me a few things tonight.
Man, that's incredible, and I'm glad that you said that, Tony, because that the fact that you learned from the guys around you, that is going to increase your racing so much, and you know that just from the time that I've known you, I've watched you become just quicker and quicker and quicker, and like I was saying in the broadcast, there's races where because you're right on the cusp line of being top split, but sometimes just because of the way things fall, you fall in the second split. But when you're in the top split, you run mid pack, which is just so impressive to me. That most people that are right there on that line, they usually run right at the end of the field. But when they're in the top or in the second split, they run near the top. But you're able to run mid-pack, and that's just incredible. And just keep improving, man. You'll be running up there for race wins soon.
Well, I appreciate that, JD. I don't know about the race wins, but I'll continue to learn. Marty Carroll's been an excellent help. He's been a good friend for a long time, and I was very, very careful not to bump into him earlier tonight. But with people like that around in this league and in the series, I think that it bodes well for the series.
Tony, tell us a little bit about the Racing for CP.
Well, racing for against cerebral palsy is in tribute to Jacob Sidman. Glenn Sidman's my teammate on Never Quit Racing, and Jacob has cerebral palsy, and he's a sim racer. And Glenn is just a great gentleman. He built his son a racing desk, which allows Jacob to race with hand controls. And for you that don't know, Glenn has formed a company called Simability, and that will be featured on our cars for the next season.
That's incredible. And that really is amazing. I'm glad that Kane asked that question. We knew Glenn from Grossim, and just an incredible guy for anybody that doesn't know him. An amazing guy, and I'm just so glad to hear that. That's awesome stuff, Tony.
Simability, if I understand it correctly, Glenn's going to be working to try to modify the racing equipment for drivers who have a disability or an impairment to where they can use their sim gear and be able to race just like everybody else. He's going to work to make that equipment available to more people.
That's absolutely right, Kane. He's made a couple of adapters for steering wheels, and he's made some ring throttle sensors and brake adapters. So those brake adapters actually act like a load sensor as well, so you get some feel. And obviously very busy with your hands, having to shift, throttle, and brake, and anybody that can do that, my hat's off to those people. For those interested, look in the iRacing forums under I believe it's iRacers with Disabilities, and take a look for Glenn Sidman's racing desk. It's just a work of art, and it's just an awesome piece of equipment.
Yeah, I have seen pictures of Jacob's equipment there, and it's pretty awesome. Do want to say hi to Jacob. It's been quite a while since I've said hi to him. He may catch wind of the broadcast and check it out. So, hi, Jacob. And Glenn Sidman, what did we used to call him, JD?
Silent Stalker, man.
That's right.
Okay. That's because he sneak up on you. Let me say that for those that don't know. This guy come in and kind of like Ethan picked up this car so fast it amazed me, because I picked it up and couldn't run it. And here comes somebody that just natural ability in the V8, and it just amazed me. And what was so fun about watching Glenn was he'd get in the car, and we wouldn't even be watching him, and I don't know what he would do. He just kept that pace, but it was just enough to where he'd be off camera, and we'd look, and he done jumped up 3 or 4 spots. And I'd say, my gosh, where did he come from? And this was every race. He would just sneak up, and it was just amazing how good he was. He was fun to watch, fun guy.
Yeah, he'd always start 7th, 8th, 9th place, and all of a sudden by the end of the race we'd look up and Glenn would be in 3rd place.
Yeah, I think you'll see Glenn out next season again, so it'll be good.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. I'd love to have get Glenn over here in the Americas. That would be exciting. Well, Tony, a pleasure talking to you, buddy. I got a few more drivers we got to chat with, but then we'll get to talk to all you guys. So hang tight. Wanted to talk about some things. This will kind of stand as our season-ending post-race show as far as this goes. But let me bring a couple guys in, and we'll get right to it. Let's go ahead and bring in Ian Ford, guys, and have a word with Ian. Ian, thanks for being patient up there, buddy, and welcome to the show.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me again. I thought I obviously lost my VIP pass. I took a bit of a time to wait, but oh well.
Yeah, no, sorry about the wait. Just got to chatting, and if you don't know if you're listening along, but happy to have you here, man. And wanted to talk a little bit about your incident there, because the same thing happened a few laps later to Mitchell McLeod, and it's just, tell me about the incident there. Did the curb just really upset the car, is what it looked like from our point of view, and it was just the weirdest thing.
It's just a case of we're trying to tune the cars for every other bit of the track. Basically, the main idea is to either try and go around that curb or just flat out over it, and sometimes it just comes off the curb awkwardly and you have time to catch it, and in that case there, I just trying to be a bit greedy and just lit up the rears, and it's all just down to how the bumpers and the bump and rebound dampers and everything are all set up. And you know, our car I was just trying to trim out to make it as fast as I could in other bits of the track to try and make up some ground on the fast boys. But yeah, that's what happened today.
Well, now that we got the bad out of the way, let's talk about the good. Very impressive. Now, you know, early in the race, the car looked good, great pace. And then after the incident, what I was proud of is how well you refocused yourself and continued to battle back up through the field. That was what impressed me the most about your run.
Yeah, the car only got a little bit of damage on the left front, and thank goodness no one ran into me. I just put my head down, tried to make up as many positions as I could. Got up to Richard there, and you know, he's having a bit of a championship challenge himself in his division, and I tried clearing him and I made a mistake and went off the road again, and basically I just went, okay, I'm not going to score as many points as I need to make this round, so I just held back and let him have it.
That sounds great, man. Well, the Maverick Weldon machine did work hard to work its way back up through the field, and ended up finishing 9th, so a top 10 finish, not bad at all considering the car literally got put into the wall. So a nice nice return there, a rebound, if you will. And Sonoma's behind us, and we're looking forward to Phillip Island next week. I know you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's not too bad considering my car came to a stop. And heading into Phillip Island, I wish we could just get there a bit faster. I won a couple of seasons ago there, so you know that's the main goal once again. I always seem to find a bit of extra pace, and I seem to need it for the overall championship perspectives for the overall in the official series.
Man, that's fantastic, Ian. We'll be wishing you the best of luck as well, man. It'd be really fun to see you win again. That was very exciting. I do even remember the race you're talking about, and very, very exciting race that was.
Yeah, thanks, boys. If I don't win it, I'll at least put on a good show. Hopefully, not spin it though.
That's right. Put on a good show, not a good incident. How about that? That was just an incredible run, man.
Sometimes the big incidents make for a good show, though.
That is very true, Kane. But just like I said, man, look forward to it, and I wish you the best of luck, Ian. Thanks a lot for coming and chatting with us.
It doesn't make a good show on my side of the screen, but you know, I'll see if I can donate some money to get you guys to Bathurst and see if I get a VIP pass for this chat after this.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we could do. That's a good idea, Ian. We could sell VIP chat passes for the fundraiser. donations
That is a
get
good
you in
idea.
their #1 spot.
Oh yeah. Thanks, boys. See you next week.
Thanks, Ian.
All right, that is Ian Ford, guys, driver of the Maverick welding machine. Fantastic recovery from him today, and looking forward to next week. Let's bring in Matthew Ross Monroe next up for a little bit of a word here with him. How are things going, Matthew?
Oh, guys, I'm ready for a nap. I'm absolutely buggered.
Tell me a little bit about your run out there. Was the car as slick as they looked early in the run?
Oh man, I started 10th, turn 2. I tried to under over Tony, and I don't know what happened. I crossed over Hayden Dodman and Richard Awol and spun around. Next thing I know, I'm dead last. That was like in like half a second, and yeah, just drove like a madman.
But you did a really good job. I was very impressed when we look at the stats. Started 10th and ended 11th. Very good. Just missed a top 10 finish at a very difficult track, and a track that we don't visit that often. So when you look at those things combined, I thought it was a very impressive result from you. And you had yourself in some tough situations, and I thought you performed good in them.
Thank you very much. It's always good to hear that. It's good for the confidence.
That's right. There's always, and you'd be amazed what confidence can do. Guys really start putting some faith in themselves, and it goes a long way. It's not everything, but it goes a long way. Like I said, you've got a lot of ways to go. I encourage you to go back, watch the broadcast, and watch it. Kane had some good things to say about you as well during the show, so I think you'll enjoy that. But yeah, man, looking forward to next week at the season finale. We're going to wrap things up at Phillip Island, and hopefully Phillip Island is one of your best.
Oh man, well, it's going to be my second time there. This is my second season, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Second season and already finishing right around the top 10. Man, see, folks like you, man, just drive me crazy. I can't drive the car at all, and here you are in the top split and almost top 10 in it. Let's just move on. No, seriously, that is awesome, man. That's incredible.
Thanks, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the race. I had a lot of fun. Tell you now.
Yeah, you had several really great battles. We managed to catch a couple of them. You just definitely improved all season long. You managed to make a lot of these top split races, and you're definitely on that list of one of the most improved drivers this season.
But you nailed this. You said the thing that the best thing I've heard yet is that you had a lot of fun, man, and that's what it's all about. A lot of people forget that sometimes, and that's the number one thing that I hope that everybody gets out of this is it's fun, man. This is fun. That's why we race. That's why people play sports. I know that people love the competition, but for me, I love competition because competition is fun. A lot of people get lost in translation, and they forget about that fun, and they start taking things a little bit too seriously or getting a little bit too headstrong about things. And I heard it from Marty earlier as well, saying that he was just giggling the whole time. He was having so much fun, and that's what it's all about, guys. That's what makes this thing what it is. And so that's awesome to hear. Young driver. Young in the series, at least, and already just talking about how much fun it is. That's what I like to hear, man.
Of course, you got to have fun. Otherwise, why else would you do it?
Exactly. That's what I want to tell people in the forums all the time, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely, Matthew. Hang tight with us. Got loads to talk about on a special kind of going to call this the end of the year edition of the post race show. Let's bring in Rory Windrum for what should be our final individual interview before we go to our group conversation. And let's welcome him in now. Rory Windrum, everybody. Rory, welcome to the Post Race Show. How are you, buddy?
Pretty good, JD.
Man, fantastic. That's great news from Rory. Let's have a little talk about your race today. 14th out of the qualifying run, and then we go into the race and finish 14th. So what that tells me is you are Mr. Consistency today. How was the race for Excuse me, I
Yep,
am a
12.
liar. That means you moved up 2 spots, which is incredibly hard at this track. Tell me about the run.
I was pretty good. First few corners were a little crazy with everything going on in front of me. I think Matthew was in front when all the chaos happened. I honestly don't know how I got through. There was I got a 0x going through. I heard 3 wide on the radio. It was nuts.
Oh my gosh! To be honest with you, I'm amazed that all of you guys made it through turns 1 and 2 without a catastrophe. This is one of the toughest starting tracks, I think, in the entire sim.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta be a little patient with it. Hope everyone gives you room. So and everyone seemed to. So it was really good on everyone doing that.
Awesome, man. What was the best part of the race for you?
I think the second half was pretty good. I had like the first little bit, I had a good battle with Kevin. I made a mistake in going off, dropped back a few positions, and then I had a good battle with Jason Quire up until the end there, and he made just a little mistake going into 3, just ran it wide, got past him. But yeah, we had a pretty good battle. It's just such an intense track. Like there's no no spot to breathe. It seems like.
There's really not. There's not. Most tracks you have that long straightaway or something where you can kind of relax mentally for just a second or at least catch a breather. But that is not the case on this configuration at Sonoma. It's intense.
Oh, for sure. But it's a lot of fun. It's you get done and you're like, oh, I could go a little longer, but not too much.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite tracks for sure, man. I love this place. Love the track, especially in this car. This is so fun in the V8. Love hopping curbs and just it's like I'm tearing the car up. It's great.
Same here.
Well, Rory, man, great run, man. Wish you the best of luck next week at Phillip Island as we finish things up. How many, or rather, I should say, how are you at Phillip Island?
I don't know. I guess mediocre. I wouldn't say that it's my best track, but I wouldn't say that it's my worst. I think I got some room for improvement, and hopefully I'll get some time to practice. I've got a new little one here, so at the house, so it's a little tough to find some time.
Congratulations on that, man. That is fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah, now you're going to be wanting to sleep more than racing soon.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to enjoy Rory while we got him here, guys. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. That's awesome stuff. Well, thanks for coming and chatting with us. Hang tight. Like I said, we got loads of things to talk about. And, Kane says he's got a little something he wants to bring up here in just a second. It's the reason I'm calling this our end of the season post-race show is I don't know the status of our season finale yet. As you guys know, there's a chance we won't be able to broadcast it live. So I want to go ahead and make sure we do a good post-race show now. So, as always, I'm going to go ahead and let Kane, he says he's got a little bit. What you got for us, buddy?
Main thing, I just wanted to thank all the drivers for what has been an awesome season. It's been the best season so far. I think it's really been tremendous. It's been a lot of fun to do the season. We will be back next season for hopefully a bigger season. I did want to kind of run across to everybody while we had so many here for the post-race show. One thing that I'd like to see for next season is more drivers competing for that championship at the end of the season. And I know we took drop races away a few seasons ago with Jim not really having the time to figure out the score and the more realisticness of it. I was thinking about it at work today. I was thinking I might like to bring in one drop round to use in the first 6 races, because as I looked through the results, I think that if we had one drop round in those first 6 races, I think we would see drivers like Mitch McLeod, Ian Ford, several other drivers that just missed a race early on that kind of gave up the championship because they knew that they had missed that one race. And so we didn't see him as frequently throughout the season. I think maybe if we had one drop round in the first half of the season, it would give more people a chance. Marty Carroll was one. Several other drivers that I think it would benefit for a better race toward the end of the season. And I was just kind of wondering what you guys thought of that.
Well, before we even do that, I really like what Sean Kelly just said down there. I'd, do one drop round, and I like what you said, Kane, about it being week 6 or before, because once you get in the second half of the season, you shouldn't be using drop weeks in the second half. It just, I don't know, I don't like it. I like it in the first half. I really do like that, but I love what he says. Only count the broadcast race, maybe. That would be really exciting, because then when we get to that final race, we know what we can score it as. We know who has to finish where. And I think it just, I don't know what, like I said, it depends on what everybody else would feel about that. But I think that would be super, super, super amazing for this broadcast and series. What's your thoughts, drivers?
I definitely think Sean's idea is on the money, because there's people like myself that the first race falls on a Friday, and a lot of us work, so it sort of gives some of the people that that can do both races sort of a double chance, I guess. Where I know for myself, I can only do the broadcast race, and even then it's like I can't do every week. So I think it would even out the playing field a little bit, and give everybody sort of more equal opportunity to score points. I know the points on the Saturday is much more than the Friday anyway, so that Friday doesn't sort of count so much. But yeah, just having that one opportunity, I think will even it up a bit.
Well, to make it even more complicated and to even it out, make it fair, like for the US guys like Rory and Tony and stuff, like if they can only run the Thursday night race their time and can't make the broadcast race, then their Thursday night points would count. So you're just taking one score out of the two races. So
yeah, that's a good idea, Marty, because some people, likewise, like what you're implying, can't make the main race. So if they can get their Friday, the first race points counted at least, then at least they're not out of it.
Yeah, because the same as us, like a lot of us can't make the our Friday lunchtime race, our Thursday night race. So, and I'm sure a lot of them can race the Thursday night, but not the Friday night. So, on those weeks, obviously they just their Thursday night points would count.
Yeah, I tell you what, I didn't intend to do next season, but the first 4 or 5 rounds look so good, and if there's a drop round in there, I might just get roped into the whole season next season.
So,
good news.
No, fantastic. Glad. Go ahead, buddy. What you got, Kane?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we all noticed it and stuff too. Like,
That
I
is.
missed around Ethan, missed around Ian, missed around and stuff like that, and you just know right then and there that the championship's over.
So, if we had to shape up a plan for next season now, what would we go with right now?
I reckon we could even do just about two drop rounds. I think even missed two rounds, but if there's 1 or 2 drop rounds, we could have been in for a 5-way title fight in the last 2 races.
Well, okay. Instead, how about this? If you did 2 drop rounds, I'm okay with that. No more than 2. But you have to attend the last 2 weeks of the season at least. You can't drop the last 2 races.
I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
I think that we would need at least the last 4 to be spot on racing for points. So no drop rounds the last. Right. And that's why I was thinking the first half of the season, but we could go as many as
The final quarter
final
of the
4.
season. Okay, I like that. The final quarter of the season, you have to be in the final 4 races.
That'd be the final third.
Yeah.
Third, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
About last 3 races or last 2, yeah.
How about the last 3 guys?
Yeah, maybe a quarter.
That's a good compromise.
That
sounds
is the meet in the middle. 3, I like it.
Let's get a word from our points keeper, Rory. Do you think this is going to really make it a little more complicated on you, or do you think this is something we can work with?
I missed the last little bit of that, but I think it makes sense. Like it wouldn't be too hard to do, especially if we do it like you one drop race for the first six races. It's not too hard to calculate. I might have to wait until round 6, and then then the points will kind of get shuffled. But
yeah, that's how I figured we would do it. It would all the points would get scored, and then whatever we decide, I think they're thinking the last 3 would be without drop week, so it'd go up to round 9 it would go all the way up to round 9, and then that's when the drops would come off.
Yeah, that would be good. That would give a pretty good indication halfway through as to where everyone lies. And it's been such an awesome season, like up to around 7, like there was a different win every week. So it's been so mixed up, and if we have that point scenario, we'll be in for a cracker.
Oh yeah,
we can even make it a little more complicated, or a little bit more. I don't want to say complicated, but we could make it to where you get 1 in the first 6 races and then 1 in the final 3, or we could just make it the same, like
anytime,
anytime.
Yeah, because somebody may have to go on a 2-week business trip or something.
Well,
I mean,
the top 10 get reset and start at 0 for the final 3 weeks. Yeah,
no,
chase.
No, that's badass. Now you're getting crazy.
Season 4, we might bring that in.
That is sick. Yeah, no, I would like to try that. Now, would the point keeper not want to do that?
It's easy for him. He throws it all out the window after round 9.
Yeah, that's
0.
true.
And he's only got to score the top 10 then.
A chase would be cool as hell, man.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. A 3-race chase. A
You
race
could have,
that's up.
You could have 5, 6 guys battling over one spot in round 9 to
That's
that final
something.
chase spot,
That's really something to consider, Marty.
And then you could have the two drivers as the commentators' nominees and make it 12 people.
Hang on, I'll just have a look at the schedule, see if that suits the strong stacks.
Well, season 3
Lord.
is normally the season that really starts to drop off, and so I was trying to think of something to keep the intensity up through the rest of the year, and I think just a little change up in how I do it. Add a couple drop weeks would really get, as we get to these final races, there would be more people racing for position.
Oh, I think for next season we'll just go with that, one step, and then maybe, and being the Americas series for the V8, a chase format, sort of can go hand in hand, because the NHRA use it, NASCAR use it now, and so it's something maybe for season 4 or even 2016, can really promote that sort of chase format.
So, in doing the chase format, would we just have a second point sheet that comes up with the top 10 drivers zeroed out, and then every week from that point on, the bottom 10, I guess you would still keep, or not bottom 10, but the rest of the drivers, you would keep track of the scores on the first sheet. And
because they're battling for P11 and down, so.
Yeah.
Whether you do the top 8 and then have two voted in by you two or something to make it 10, do something like that.
Yeah, it'd be something different for season 4. I know you guys were talking a few episodes ago about doing a special event type racing and counting that into the points. That could be looked at season 4 too. Maybe the last race could be week 13. That's some special event. Who knows? Plenty of ideas.
I like it.
I like that idea too.
And week 13 is Bathurst too.
Week 13 grand final. That sounds all right.
And maybe, JD, we could do a special qualify. Oh, no, we couldn't because of iRacing. But when we were back in Grass End, we did a special qualifying night.
Yes, and that was so fun. That was so fun. The shootout was so much fun.
And on a week 13 we could, because we'd have to host that anyway, ourselves. So we could do something like that on a week 13 type of event.
Yeah, plenty of time. I think I got it pretty well set for next season. So yeah, and then change it up again for season 4.
I like it. As we
talk with Mike and see what he thinks of the changes, but I would like to do something different coming to there. I'll talk with Mike and Rory kind of over the coming couple weeks and see what we can get figured out. Something good for next season.
It's a good time to look at it because or a good time to try something new because as we prepare for 2016. We can try something in season 3. If we like it, we keep it for season 4 and make any adjustments that we need. And that way, when we come into 2016, we may have a new format that we love more than any other we've ever had. And we just continue to keep improving an already amazing series.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good option what we've got there for season 3. But for next season, it rewards consistency. It still gives a couple of drop rounds so people can still have a life or a bad result. So yeah, it's pretty good. And I think under that current format, Ethan would have pretty much cleared this season and won it. I would have said pretty safely, and without only counting the broadcast race, I probably would have been a bit more up in points. So yeah, so looking good.
Fantastic. Well, sounds like we got points and are just the setup of how we want to do season next year. I do always, we get to the end of a season. I always like to talk about things that are coming up for the new season. Does anybody know of any updates from iRacing? I think we are going to get the Aston Martin
track surface, the dynamic track surface.
Now, what about it? Are we going to get it, or no?
Was that coming in next season? I heard news about that, wasn't it? It was in the calendar, wasn't it?
Soon.
Yeah, soon was all I had heard. I can sure hope for next season. That would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Was it not the weather that was changing for next season? Something to do with the weather? Changes throughout the week?
Oh, it might have been that, sorry. I always get the two confused. I wish that
weather, that's right.
Yeah, we're getting realistic weather for qualifying race. So you'll see a small change between the qualifying and the race, and you'll get what you get when you first get into the session. So it'll make it interesting.
Ooh, that will. No more super setups based on weather because it's going to change on the fly. That'll be really interesting. So pretty neat. Okay, well, I just wanted to know what all we had coming in the new build. I get excited. New build, new stuff, new updates. Just wondering.
I did see that they finally got the Mercedes signed, and so of course it won't be done for a while, but that's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
GT3
it is.
Mercedes.
Get the AMG. It's going to be exciting. There really are. I love that iRacing is putting a lot into their GT3 series, which is now licensed by the Blancpain Endurance and Sprint series, which is really cool. I think that iRacing going and getting licenses is really great for the series. I mean, we now have names for almost all our series. You now have the NASCAR, Xfinity and the NASCAR, the different series. It's no longer called, A, B, and C all the time. And, you also have the IMSA Sports Car Championship, the Blancpain Endurance and Sprint Series. You have the, there's a couple more. But, the licensing is really great that they're starting to get that in here. Makes it, I don't know, it just gives it another level of realism.
And maybe we'll see the Mercedes in the V8 series.
That is really good. The Erebus, I didn't even think about that. But with the licensing of Mercedes, that sounds like it could be a huge possibility. Awesome. I didn't even think about that.
And I understand that there has been a rumor that Volvo's been signed as well.
Wow. Could you imagine if we had a Volvo and a Mercedes added with our already Ford and Holden? We'd have 4 V8 supercar manufacturers. That would make the NASCAR community mad, as they have their 3. I mean, that's all there is in there, but still, how exciting would that be, fellas?
That would be exciting. It would be just in time for the big change up for 2017.
But I tell you what, they can add all the cars they want. If they don't update these V8 sound file, it's going to drive me nuts. These V8 sound nothing like they do when you watch the broadcast on TV. They just don't sound right. They didn't update it with the new car. It was very disappointing. This is the old sound file with a new car. I did not think that was that's some one time that iRacing really disappointed me. Sound makes a huge difference to me, and it's if you don't think sound makes a big difference, look at the Formula One fans when they went from the V8 to these V6 turbos. It's so bad. The fans were so mad that because the cars don't sound good anymore. They don't sound like a Formula One car should, and so they're actually meeting now. My brother-in-law was telling me the other day he's a huge Formula One fan, and it's so big. It's caused such an uproar in the Formula One fans and even the attendance and things that they're literally considering going back to the V8 in 2017 when the contract runs up. And listen to this, they're also talking about even bringing back refueling in Formula One, which is crazy. It was taken away as a health hazard, but it was so exciting that they're talking about bringing it back. I mean, the pit stops are so short, that. But I could get into Formula One all day, but it's just engine sounds make a huge difference, and I really wish we could get an updated or even just a realistic V8 sound file for our V8 supercars. They look amazing. The physics are amazing. Just give us some beautiful V8 sound. I want to hear a little bit of that whistle or whatever you want to call it in the engine. I want to, you guys know what I'm talking about.
That's right. Yeah, want to hear that.
It's like a
Want to hear that drive.
stampede of rhinos on the first lap, isn't it? All 30 cars, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit disappointing, like you say, because when you watch like the iRacing BMW video, how they made that car and had a dozen microphones and stuff, and
they
it's a little
nailed
bit
it.
frustrating they didn't take that same level of and
Attention
of
and
detail
detail.
and apply it. Yeah.
Yeah, because they nailed the BMW spot on. And don't get me wrong, that's my favorite car, GT car. It's my favorite. But, I want the V8 to be special. I mean, it's. I don't want to say it on the broadcast, but I don't want half-done stuff. I don't like it. iRacing is the best. They are known for having the most detailed, the most realistic. And so when they delivered a new V8 supercar that looked great, drove great, but it was the identical sound file from the old car, and you're supposed to be bringing in the car of the future model, well, bring in the sound file, update the sound file. It can't be that hard. It really, I would think out of all the things that when you build that sound would be one of the easier components to add in, because you can record that sound. You don't have to create it. You know what I'm saying? I just would think it would have been a lot easier than I just feel like it got overlooked. But
Well, I think most of us thought that they left the old sound just to get the car released, and that they were going to redo the sound very soon.
That's what I was
And
told.
it
That's
never
right,
came.
Kane. It never got done. It's like it got pushed to the back burner, and iRacing has moved on and never looked back. We should write Tony Gardner and just see what he says. See if we could get that pushed back in motion.
I can't ever get
JD?
any replies from them.
JD, I have a connection at iRacing, and I'll pass on the sentiment of the group and ask if they can do something. I know that there's nothing in store for the next season, but let me talk to a couple of people.
Man, that would
Yeah.
be fantastic.
Yeah, like, the guys at iRacing, I'm sure they're very passionate. We love our racing and love our motorsport, and I'm sure those guys happy love developing and giving us this service. And probably a bit frustrating for them that they can't get to all the things they'd like because they don't have the development and resources and the money to invest in and make these things happen. So, hopefully in 4 or 5 years' time there'll be 10 times as many people on iRacing, and then they can justify getting the sound right in every car. And so, yeah, best we can do is probably get more friends on board, really.
Yeah,
Get them more money.
they've got a lot of stuff on the go right now, right? They're working on Nürburgring. They're satisfying with the Opel guys with 5 flags, which will be out shortly, and the 2015 Camry. So they're going to be happy with that. We've got the Aston Martin coming out. We got the Mercedes GT3 car coming out. And I think we're going to see a couple of surprises in the new build as well. So, they're busy, and I think they're catering, actually, honestly, to the crowd that's producing the most attendance. So that's the GT3 right now.
Which they should. The GT3 is producing the attendance, and I understand that
as well as the sponsorship and the deals. They're getting more deals through the GT3, more cars and stuff. There's just more people coming on board for the GT3, but they have some friends in the V8 Supercar community, with having some drivers that actually participate. I think that kind of they could use that. I would think that maybe as Scotty or Shane or somebody could record some engine sounds or something if they would ask and get permission from the teams or something and do it. And then iRacing wouldn't have to go and do it. It probably wouldn't take too sophisticated of equipment to get some basic sounds.
I'll pass the message on.
And thanks, Tony. Tony's going to look into that for us, which is amazing. I understand why iRacing doesn't jump all over what I like to consider the V8 series. It's a niche. It's a niche community. We're not mainstream. Which is fine. With mainstream comes a lot of problems. But I would like a little bit more participation in the V8 series. It's but I like I said, it's one of the times I would rather take quality over quantity, boys. We got some of the best guys in the entire sim racing world right here in the V8 community, and so I wouldn't trade it in for a bunch of people any day.
I think you nailed it with the quality over quantity, and that describes the V8 Supercar community in a nutshell. Is that the drivers are not only the skill level is great, but the attitudes and this series themselves just seem to be a cut above. You can come in here and race with these guys and know you're gonna leave the race with a smile most times and just have a lot of fun. And you can join those GT3 races and you will leave pretty aggravated a lot of times. So I guess it just depends how much you race to. I guess if you race with those guys as often, you'd get used to it or whatever. But I don't know, this V8 Supercar community has never disappointed.
Not at all. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time ever since I've joined iRacing. Guys, it's been a remarkable season so far for the viewers out there that have been watching. Thank you so much. I'm not going to close out quite yet. I'm going to see if somebody else has anything, but just wanted to say thank you to all the viewers and new viewers out there this season. I hope you have enjoyed the show. It has been a remarkable season, and we got some, you heard it already in the post-race show, with talks of changes for next season. Could be huge and potentially really, really uplifting, exciting stuff coming in the near future. That's right, intense fun. But guys, does anybody have anything that they would like to bring to the attention, or anything they want to talk about on the show before we close out?
I got something if nobody else does. I'll let them go first.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Well, I too want to thank all the drivers for participating in the Americas season 2. Like I say, it was the best season so far. I can't wait till season 3. Just want to thank you all for the participation, for coming in for the post-race shows. Love the series. I just love the V8 Supercar group in general. Do want to say that next season will be the official fundraising season for JD and I to try to get us to Bathurst. That will be the last of the time we have to try to raise up some money to get us over there to Bathurst. I really think it would be so awesome. I think what our plan is with filming the trip and everything, I really think it would be a lot of fun for everybody. If you guys know some business owners or anything like that, we would be more than happy to have sponsorship for it, and we could call it their business name or whatever. We can add that into the production or whatever. So you might ask around. It might be something people want to get interested in. I'll of course be asking around here as well. Anything we can do to try to get the funds. I really think that this would be a lot of fun for everybody, as well as JD and I. Of course, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, really, to go over there and attend the Bathurst 1000 from here in America. It is, but most importantly, being able to meet you guys is what I'm looking forward to the very most. I think the friendships that we've created doing this is probably worth more than the Bathurst race itself. But the Bathurst 1000, definitely an epic event. It's an experience more than a race, and I think that experience would come across really well in a video thing like we're wanting to do. I think that is all I have, JD. Did you have anything else?
No, buddy. All I had was to say good night, guys, and don't miss out. Stay tuned. Like I said, we'll try to let you guys know what's going to happen for next week's broadcast, and so just try to check something. I don't know what to say to check, but
sounds like you're having an episode of the Canes. Your brain went blank on you.
Well, I just don't know where to tell people to check for information regarding next week's broadcast. I guess
the iRacing forums. We'll let them know in the iRacing forums as far as the drivers themselves. They can find out there. I would just check as far as the people, the viewers. Just go ahead and check and see if we're live next week. I'm going to try to set it up through the remote desktop, and we're going to try to do at least a radio show. I don't know that I could work the cameras and all that through a remote desktop from 1,200 miles away, but I think I could at least get a radio show type thing going.
That'll work. Well, guys, y'all have a wonderful night. And like I said, thank you all for watching. It's been an incredible race, incredible season. And we'll be back next week, hopefully, at least like Kane said, for radio. And y'all have a good night. Like I said, I'm JD Smith, Kane Craft with me. Thanks to all the drivers, especially the ones that hung around all show long. Sean Kelly, Matthew Ross Monroe, Marlon McMullen, Marty Carroll, Michael Cracknell. Thank you all very much for stopping in and hanging with us. Tony Klusterman as well. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll be back next week.
Thank you guys for having us.
Anytime, buddy. Let's have Brett.
Look at back. Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.